During the summer vacation trip, my sister secretly got into a van. I pretended not to see and turned away. In my previous life, I stopped my sister, but it made her resent me for decades. On the day my daughter turned 1, she put a lethal dose of poison in the formula. Watching her daughter vomit blood, she laughed hysterically. "Remember, you're the one who killed her. You ruined my entire life, and I'll make you suffer for the rest of yours. Why did you stop me from getting on that car back then?" I wanted to fight her desperately, but she stabbed me into a vegetative state. After barely surviving for a few years, I finally breathed my last. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my sister secretly got on that car. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw Chow Huan's back as she was looking around, squinting my eyes. I was overwhelmed with immense hatred. Soon, a black van pulled up at the door. She knocked 3 times, and 2 men inside quickly pulled her into the vehicle. In my previous life, I thought my sister was about to be kidnapped. I screamed to attract the attention of the crowd and dragged my sister away. I was too frantic at the time to notice the strangeness in my sister's expression. Chow Huan resented me for decades. Not only did she poison my daughter to death, but she also poisoned my medicine for years, causing my body to deteriorate early. After she stabbed me into a vegetative state, she would come to my ear every day to curse me, boasting about how happy her family is, how adorable her daughter is. Every year, she would bring her daughter to my sick bed to celebrate her birthday. 5 years later, I finally took my last breath, angered by her. It wasn't until the day I died that I understood. Why did Chow Huan desperately try to get on that van? It was her meticulously planned ascension scheme. Since childhood, she believed she was the chosen one. She shouldn't have been born into an ordinary family, nor should she live an ordinary life. Once thought I was a child who was switched at birth. As she grew older, she started to look more and more like her father. She finally came to terms with the truth, but she also came up with a new plan. If you were born into the wrong family, you can always choose your own. The man inside is indeed a human trafficker. It was Chow Huan who contacted the human trafficker, and she offered to be trafficked. But she had one condition: she had to be trafficked to a wealthy household. The human trafficker agreed without hesitation, and today is the final step of the plan. In her previous life, Chow Huan believed that I ruined her plan and destroyed her life. She hated me to the bone. Watching the van drive away, I curled my lips into a smile and turned to disappear into the crowd. In this life, I'll let you pursue the life you want. I'd like to see where the human traffickers will take you, too. 10 minutes later, Chow Huan still hadn't returned. Her parents were getting anxious. I searched the restroom but couldn't find anyone. Her face turned pale, then paler. 20 minutes later, after searching the entire scenic area, there was still no sign of Chow Huan. Mom almost fainted. Dad called the police. Unfortunately, 30 years ago, surveillance cameras in scenic areas were not advanced. They only saw Chow Huan walking into the restroom and never saw her come out again. Only I know that Chow Huan climbed out through the restroom window. After taking a long detour, I arrived at a small, unmonitored gate of the scenic area. The area was overgrown with weeds, and there were no tourists around. This was the pickup spot she had scouted out long ago. Besides, with so many people in the scenic area, who would notice an ordinary little girl? They searched until evening. There was no news at all. Mom fainted several times. Dad smoked one cigarette after another. It's all my fault. Why didn't I keep a better eye on her? Xia. It was Dad who lost your sister. He covered his face, sobbing uncontrollably. Mom and Dad stayed here for over half a month. They all blamed themselves, thinking they didn't take good care of their sister. Their bodies slid down rapidly. They were both admitted to a hospital near the scenic area. I was so anxious that I broke out in a cold sweat. This just wouldn't do. We can't let that beast Chow Huan harm our family. That evening, I walked to my parents in tears. I was sobbing and couldn't speak, just crying uncontrollably. My mother held me in her arms, wiping my tears with a pained heart. "Sweetie, are you missing your sister? It's Mom and Dad's fault. Are you blaming Mom for losing your sister?" I shook my head and buried my face in my mother's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. "I've lost my sister. I can't lose Mom and Dad too." Xia is so scared. So scared of losing you. Woo, Mom and Dad, I don't want to lose you. The two of them jolted awake. Suddenly, They realized they had more than just little Chow Huan, they also had me, their 8-year-old eldest daughter. They still need the wholehearted love and care of their parents. The next day, they perked up. 3 days later, they headed back home. They will never blame themselves in front of me again. Out of guilt, he doubled all his love for me. Dad worked tirelessly to earn money, just to make up for the time he couldn't spend with me. Soon, he seized the opportunity and started a small factory. Riding the wave of the times, the factory soared, growing from a small workshop into a large enterprise. It eventually became a company. Our whole family moved from a 70-square-meter residential apartment into a mansion spanning thousands of square meters. I also became the most beloved eldest daughter of the Chow family. That year, I was only 13 years old. I lay in the soft, large bed and laughed out loud. I really wonder what kind of life Chow Huan is living now. What expression would she have if she knew our whole family had become rich? The ordinary family she wanted to escape from has become the wealthy one she now dreams of day and night. These are all things that never happened in my previous life. In my previous life, after Chow Huan returned home, her parents went to work as usual, having lived an ordinary life as common laborers. We naturally led an ordinary existence for a lifetime. I touched the high-end custom dress I was wearing. It seems that Chow Huan is really the jinx of our family. Without her, the whole family would have become immensely wealthy. Because of the physical depletion and tragic death in my previous life, I started to exercise frantically. Sonda, combat, swimming, body shaping, health science, nutrition, pharmacology. I have found teachers for everything I can learn. Of course, I haven't neglected my studies. My parents see me working like a man possessed and are heartbroken. Xia, our family is so well off that we can support you even if you don't study. All we want is for you to be happy and carefree. I showed my 2 little fangs. Mom, I'm very happy. 3. After Dad closed a few new projects, he had a lot more free time. While spending time with me, he didn't give up on looking for Chow Huan. They spent a large sum of money to post missing person notices in newspapers and online. A high reward was offered. Anyone providing information related to Chow Huan will be rewarded with 5,000. Anyone who knows Chow Huan's whereabouts will be rewarded with 2 million upon finding her. This matter has caused quite a stir in our city. The daily stream of visitors has nearly worn down our doorstep. My father is just too wealthy. He doesn't care whether the information is true or false, or whether people are trying to scam him. As long as they ask, he gives them 5,000. Many people privately call him the Lord of Generosity. Not all of them were here just to scam money. A few of them mentioned that they seemed to have seen the van, but couldn't provide any concrete details. My dad didn't take it seriously either. As for me, I wouldn't say anything either. 2 years later, I have no idea how much money my father had given away. Still, no useful information was obtained. My mother was getting a bit frustrated. These people are all here to scam money, all fake information. My daughter wasn't found, but a lot of money was spent. Just as my parents were about to try a different approach, a bald man came to our house. With just one glance, I recognized him as the man from the van. 10 years have passed, and the man's appearance hasn't changed much. He still has that same sleazy yet shrewd look. He licked his lips. President Chow, I think I know where your daughter is. My dad waved his hand, signaling for him to continue. Everyone who comes to the house says the same thing. I think I've seen your younger daughter once when I was working in City B. At this, he gave my dad an ingratiating smile. However, the young lady was too young when she got lost. So I'm not entirely sure if it's her. Maybe I should go and check it out, if I find her. I'll send you a message. But about the money, my father absent-mindedly hummed in agreement. I've said it before. Find my daughter, and there's a 2 million reward. The man rubbed his hands together, took the $5,000, and left. Neither of my parents took it seriously, because City B is over 2,000 kilometers away from the tourist city. Only I know that this bald guy is right. Chow Huan must be in City B. Just want these 2 million, dream on, a human trafficker. Is he even worthy? I immediately contacted a private investigator and asked them to find Chow Huan in City B within a week. They were very fast. They sent me photos in just 3 days. The moment I saw the photos, I laughed so hard I could barely catch my breath. Chow Huan, oh Chow Huan, is this the life of a young lady you were pursuing? For, in the photo, Chow Huan is wearing dirty clothes while cleaning the restaurant's restroom. In the next picture, Chow Huan is eating pickled vegetable porridge at home. On the table, there is a stewed hen. There's no share for Chow Huan. It's all in the bowl of the little boy sitting opposite her. The detective told me that Chow Huan was bought by this couple. Back then, the couple couldn't conceive and didn't have enough money to buy a boy, so they bought Chow Huan unexpectedly. Just 2 years after Chow Huan arrived, the couple gave birth to a little boy. I wiped away the non-existent tears. My poor sister has suffered so much. Woo, my pitiful sister. The detective also mentioned that Chow Huan is no longer attending school. She was forced by her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Zhao, to start working several years ago. At this point, the detective paused and glanced at me cautiously. I nodded, signaling for him to continue. The second young lady, she seems to have a boyfriend. A boyfriend? What's so hard to say about that? The moment I saw the photo, I was amused. The so-called boyfriend turned out to be a man in his 60s. That's quite interesting. The detective told me they often meet secretly after the restaurant closes. The old man has a bit of money and is quite generous towards Chow Huan. I paid the detective double the price to keep him from telling my parents. The bald man has already gone to City B. It's only a matter of time before he finds Chow Huan. That night, I used a whole bottle of eye drops. Make sure you look like you're crying bitterly. My mom put down her chopsticks and immediately pulled me into her arms. Oh, my baby, who upset you? Tell me, and I'll make sure they pay for it. I bit my lip and carefully pushed the photo onto the dining table. Mom, Dad, I found my sister. Sob, she's so pitiful. I didn't show my parents the photo of the old man holding her. Sure enough, with just one glance, my parents' eyes turned red. My mom wiped her tears, sobbing uncontrollably. It's our fault, we let Huan down. We immediately decided to go to City B the next day to find Chow Huan. As I got up to return to my room, I accidentally dropped the old man's photo on the floor. Reminded by my parents, I hurriedly picked up the photo. The more flustered, the more chaotic, until it was glaringly obvious to both of them. Mom, Dad, this sister must have her reasons. Don't look at her through tinted glasses. My father's expression changed first. He hates most those who would do anything for money. Chow Huan was struggling financially, but he had both hands and feet and was in good health. My mother pressed her lips together, wanting to defend Chow Huan, but couldn't bring herself to speak. After all, in the photo, Chow Huan was smiling brightly, his whole body pressed tightly against the old man. I hurriedly hid the photo. Shaking my parents' arms, I stammered to explain for Chow Huan, Mom and Dad, my sister has her reasons. Her life is too hard, woo-woo. It must be because of this that she did something wrong. I believe my sister will change. My father remained silent, his lips trembling, on the verge of fury. He slammed his chopsticks heavily on the table. Tomorrow, we'll go pick up Chow Huan first. I know. The thorn of losing Chow Huan is still deeply embedded in their hearts. The heartache is greater than the anger. Lying in bed, I idly played with that photo. I hope to see a good show tomorrow. Early the next morning, my dad personally drove to City B. Along the way, my mom was so nervous she couldn't speak. She kept fixing her hair and then adjusting her clothes. She also kept searching online for how to talk to a missing daughter. My dad didn't say much the whole way. He only asked if I was hungry or if I wanted to take a break. A break, of course. I kept track of the time to make sure the restaurant would be closed by the time we arrived in City B. But it can't be too late. Or Chow Huan will have already returned to the Zhao family. After a long and tiring journey, we finally arrived at the restaurant where Chow Huan worked a little after 9 in the evening. My dad clicked his tongue in annoyance. It's closed, we're a step too late. Let's go straight to the Zhao family. My mother grabbed my father's sleeve. She pointed to the faintly lit light in the back kitchen, her voice choked with emotion. Is the light still on back there? Is our Huaner still cleaning up? Woo-woo, Huaner has really suffered. That boss is not human, bullying a young girl like her. It's so late and they still have her here all alone. I also wiped away tears along with my mom. Listen carefully, and you can still hear voices inside. It seems there's more than just her. They immediately decided to go check the kitchen. My mom was the first to push open the back door. What came into view was a head of gray hair. The old man was pressing Chow Huan down on the table, kissing her passionately. His hands wandered restlessly under her shirt. Xiao Huan giggled playfully. Brother, you're so annoying. Don't be in such a hurry. I can't hold back anymore. Brother, you have no idea how much I miss you. I'm off work tomorrow. Brother, come shopping with me. Will you? I saw a dress I really like, and it's $500. Alright, how about I give you something else nice tonight first? You're so bad, brother. The sound of the door opening startled the two of them. Xiao Huan looked up impatiently. Can't you see we're closed? Go eat somewhere else. It's so annoying. My father was trembling with anger. He stepped forward and kicked the old man to the ground. Xiao Huan, look at what you've become, a 500 yuan dress. Just for this. My father still couldn't bring himself to say harsh words to his daughter, whom he hadn't seen in 10 years. Xiao Huan was taken aback, examining the few of us under the dim, yellowish light. Her eyes widened more and more, eventually glistening with a layer of tears. She had intended to get angry, but upon seeing the Rolex on my father's wrist, she closed her mouth again. She stood in place, sobbing softly as she wiped away her tears. You look so much like my mom and dad. My mother stamped her foot, pulled Xiao Huan into her arms, and hugged her tightly. Silly girl, we are your family. Oh, these 10 years, you've suffered so much. The old man's mood was interrupted. He angrily tugged at Xiao Huan. Hey, who are these people? Explain yourself clearly. Xiao Huan slapped the old man's hand away and shouted loudly. What are you doing? If you lay another hand on me, I'll call the police. Haven't you forced me long enough? Xiao Huan had no one to rely on before, but now my parents are here. If you dare to lay a hand on me again, just try. I propped my chin on my hand, standing in the shadows. Xiao Huan was indeed clever. With just a few words, she had turned her parents' opinion of her around. Coupled with their guilt, they would only feel even more protective of her. She looked past my mom and at me. Is that you, sis? She ran over and hugged me. Your dress must be really expensive, right? Wah. I've never worn such a nice dress before. My sister is so beautiful now. She clearly looks like someone who has been well loved. Wah, not like me. No one loves me. Mom and Dad, I miss you so much. I stared at her with a half smile. How amusing. Xiao Huan is trying to play the real and fake heiress game with me. My dad called someone to pick us up. We returned home overnight. Xiao Huan looked at everything in the house, his jaw nearly dropping to the ground. He looked around and touched things here and there. My mom took her to see her room, which is right next to mine. The gifts inside were piled up high. Huaner, would you like to go shopping with Mom tomorrow to buy some clothes? I'll make you a few more dresses then. Xiao Huan took a stroll around her bedroom. Then she came to my bedroom and looked around. Her eyes reddened. Mom, can I live in this bedroom? This bedroom is so big and beautiful. I've never seen such a lovely bedroom, of course. My room is the largest and best one in the entire villa. The private balcony alone is comparable to a small garden. Mom seemed a bit troubled. This is your sister's room. I smiled and grabbed Xiao Huan's hand. Mom, just let my sister stay with me. It's been 10 years since we last saw each other, and I have so much to say to her. My mom breathed a sigh of relief. Pat my head. Xia is so good. You two sisters have the best relationship. Go ahead and bond with each other. Xiao Huan opened her mouth, wanting to say something. I didn't give her the chance and pulled her into the room. I took her to the cloakroom and gestured toward her with a pout. Little sister, these are all custom-made clothes of mine. See if there's anything you like. Xiao Huan reached out to touch them. I grabbed her hand and clicked my tongue in disapproval. Your hands are all calloused and too rough. You might damage them. He looked her up and down and pouted. Little sister, you're a bit plump. These clothes are delicate. You might stretch them out. I played with her hair. Your hair is so dry. Sister, what kind of life have you been living these past 10 years? I proudly showed off my meticulously maintained hair to her. Even the tips of my hair were shining black. I dragged her into the room again, pointing at the things inside. I showed them off to her one by one. These were all things she had never seen or even heard of before. I wanted to tell her what kind of princess life I had been living these past few years. Xiao Huan's face turned red with anger. Xiao Xia, what do you mean? These things should have been mine. If it weren't for you losing me, would I have ended up so miserable? I leaned back on the sofa, smiling without a word, and shook the juice in my hand. Little sister, you know, this juice is specially supplied. Oh right, you probably don't know what special supply means, to put it simply. This small cup costs 1,000 yuan. I covered my mouth and chuckled. That's twice the price of the dress you wanted. Little sister, how did you end up like this? For half a cup of juice, you'd stoop to being with a 60-year-old man. It's really tacky, you know. 6. Xiao Huan's face turned pale, then flushed, then pale again. Before she could lose her temper, I raised my smiling eyes. But it's good that you're back. If you need money, just tell your sister. Don't go seeking favors from old men for money again. I fished out a black card from my bag and held it out to her. Take it, there's an endless supply of $500 in here. Xiao Huan completely lost it. She snatched the card, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it over and over. Xiao Xia, you bitch, who needs your charity? Can't mom and dad afford to raise me? Bitch, bitch, you did it on purpose. I told you I was forced by that man. Can't you understand human language? I took a sip of juice and nodded as if suddenly enlightened. Oh, so you were forced into it. Seeing you laugh so happily, I thought it was consensual. Ah, Xiao Xia, I'm going to kill you. She lunged at me with claws bared. I dodged lightly, and she fell to the ground in a clumsy manner. She lay on the ground, seething with helpless rage. The commotion in the room also alarmed my parents, and they hurried over. Xia Xia, Xiao Huan, what happened to you? I messed up my hair, dreaming of pinching myself. Tears instantly filled my eyes. Who doesn't know how to act like a green TB *TCH? Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't take good care of my sister. It's all my fault. I'm not a good sister. Woo woo. Xiao Huan simply lay down on the floor and cried. Mom and Dad. My sister doesn't want me to come back. Woo woo. She cursed and insulted me in every way and told me to die. I snuggled into my mother's arms, shaking my head desperately. Sister, I didn't. Why would you say that? My mother widened her eyes. She has raised me for over 10 years and knows my character very well. She would never say such a thing. My dad spotted the black card on the floor with his sharp eyes. He picked it up and dusted it off. Xia, why did you just throw the card around? Is it broken? I'll have someone replace it for you tomorrow. I lowered my head, my voice muffled. No, it's not broken. I wanted to give it to my sister, but she, the words were left unfinished, but both parents understood what had happened. Xiao Huan was still stubbornly insisting that I had thrown the card myself to frame her. My mother sighed, pulled Xiao Huan up, and brushed the dust off her clothes. Huan. Mom and Dad know you've had a tough 10 years and are holding on to some resentment, but you shouldn't take it out on your sister. Your sister has a gentle nature and won't speak up even when she's wronged. You two sisters used to be the closest. It's too late now. Let's talk about whatever it is tomorrow. Okay. My mom pulled Xiao Huan back to her own room. Xiao Huan was unconvinced and glared at me fiercely. She thought she had hidden it well. Little did she know it had caught my father's eye. After she left, my father asked me if I had been wronged in some way. I bit my lip and forced a brave smile. Without Dad, my sister is just not used to it and is upset right now. She'll be fine in the future. 7. Lying in bed. I found it somewhat amusing. In my past life, she pretended for decades, making everyone around us believe we were sisters with hearts connected. In this lifetime, Xiao Huan really can't keep her composure. I suppose this is what happens when you don't get an education. The next day, she regained her fighting spirit. She belittles me both openly and covertly, insinuating that the favor I enjoy now is only because I've taken her share. I should be very grateful to her. She leaned against the doorframe, raising her chin arrogantly. In novels, the youngest daughter is always the most favored. Just you wait. Sooner or later, Mom and Dad will grow tired of you. I picked up my bag and left, not bothering with her. My schedule is completely full with classes today. She sneered behind my back. I'm going to buy 10 times the clothes you have today. They'll definitely be better and more expensive than yours. How could I give her this opportunity? In the middle of boxing class, I held my stomach and called my mom. Mom, my stomach hurts so much. I'm taking a leave from boxing class today. Mom, you and my sister enjoy shopping. I'm going home first. Less than 10 minutes after hanging up the phone, my mom rushed to the boxing gym in a panic. Without saying a word, She took me to the hospital. Xiao Huan's eyes were practically shooting fire. Her lips were stiff. Mom, my sister is so lucky. Just because she has an upset stomach, so many people are here with her, not like me. Sigh. Back at home, I fainted from the pain and no one cared. And I still had to get up and go to work. My mom patted her head, looking a bit apologetic. Xiao Huan, Mom knows you've suffered a lot, and I will make it up to you. But please don't say that about your sister, okay? You are all my treasures, and I would do the same if you had a stomachache. I winked at Xiao Huan and mouthed the words, Mom really loves me more. Xiao Huan's face twisted with anger. She gritted her teeth, tugging at my mom's sleeve and acting coquettishly. Mom, since sister is fine now, can we go to the mall again? I haven't bought any clothes yet. My mom glanced at her and said softly, let's go tomorrow, okay? The clothes aren't going anywhere, Mom, but I just want to wear it today. My mother sighed, handed the card to her, and asked Butler Wang to accompany her. Xiao Huan, buy whatever you want to your heart's content. Xiao Huan was so angry that she gritted her teeth, turned around, and left. In the evening, Xiao Huan came to show off her new clothes in front of me. My mom had the chief designer custom make this for me. Can you afford something like this? I pointed expressionlessly at the large wardrobe behind me. This wardrobe is full of them. If you like them, you can take them. Oh, sorry, I forgot. You're too plump to fit into them. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth. I stood up and patted Xiao Huan's shoulder. Little sister, you're so naive. Wouldn't it be better to just stay put quietly after coming back? You insist on competing for favor. But haven't you realized yet, in Mom and Dad's hearts, I'll always be number one. Xiao Huan didn't believe it. This is only temporary. I'm the youngest daughter. The youngest daughter is always the most important. She started causing all sorts of trouble, just to prove that she was the most important in her parents' hearts. Her parents, feeling guilty, have always indulged her whims. Because of this excessive indulgence, Xiao Huan became increasingly wild. She made many dubious friends outside and often didn't return home until late at night. To set Xiao Huan back on the right path, her parents wanted her to continue her studies. Your sister is thoughtful, go to school with her. As soon as I was mentioned, she went crazy again. She absolutely refuses to study. Why should I study when my family is so rich? Mom and Dad, are you like Xiao's parents, not wanting to care about me anymore? Woo-woo, I know my sister is perfect in every way. So you only love her and not me, right? The parents had no choice but to comfort her gently once more. They agreed to Xiao Huan's request. Indeed, the family could afford to keep 100 of her. In the evening, she came to provoke me again. Xiao Xia, do you think I don't know what you're thinking? Isn't it just to have your friends mock me? I've seen plenty of this kind of bullying fiction, and you still want to mess with me. Hilarious. Watching her smug back, I shook my head. Idiot, my goal, of course, is to keep her from studying. After all, what if she gets smarter from reading? It's best to remain foolish to the very end. I've seen my parents sigh in private more than once. I don't know what to do about Xiao Huan. My mother wiped away her tears. It was us who lost her back then. Otherwise things wouldn't have turned out like this. Just let her be happy. I don't expect her to achieve great things. I just hope she can be happy for a lifetime. But those so-called friends of hers, I'll find a time to get rid of all those people. I laughed. Xiao Huan took advantage of her parents' guilt to do whatever she pleased. But how long can this guilt last? I've already obtained the bald man's contact information. It's just not the right time to use it yet. 2 months later, my parents planned to hold a banquet to celebrate Xiao Huan's return. Xiao Huan was extremely excited. The entire banquet was arranged according to her preferences. She was so busy that she didn't even have time to go out and play. A week later, I took a look at the banquet's PowerPoint presentation, pouting. Not that impressive, not as grand as my coming-of-age banquet. With that one sentence, Xiao Huan went crazy again, screaming for people to tear down all the decorations. She went crying to our parents again, saying she had suffered so much and wanted to throw a grand banquet. She wanted everyone in City A to know that the Qiao family's youngest daughter had returned. When our parents refused, she started guilt-tripping them again. Mom, Dad, I've been lost for 10 years. 10 years. Do you know how much I've suffered? After 10 years, can't I just have a grand homecoming banquet? Woo-woo. Out of guilt, my parents had no choice but to agree. It was just a matter of spending a little more money. My parents didn't want to make it such a big deal. They just felt that Xiao Huan was a bit of an embarrassment. Xiao Huan was extremely pleased with herself. Big sister, your coming-of-age banquet isn't all that impressive after all. I curled the corner of my mouth. Xiao Huan had taken the bait after all. The Zhao couple has been looking for her everywhere. She made such a big scene. The Zhao couple will eventually come looking for her. If they don't come looking, I'll also spread the word to get them here, of course. There's also Xiao Huan's old boyfriend. Xiao Huan is looking forward to that day. I am also looking forward to it. The day of the banquet arrived quickly. Her dress cost 7 figures. We worked with over a dozen designers and, under her personal guidance, created this dress. Well, it's a long story, but Xiao Huan really liked it. She held the hem of the skirt and twirled countless times in front of me. My dear sister, you don't get this kind of treatment, do you? Indeed not. My sense of aesthetics wouldn't allow it. Xiao Huan even specifically sought out the largest media outlet in the city. On the night of the banquet, she came up with a unique entrance ceremony. What can I say? It's a bit better than her dress. My good friend clicked her tongue beside me. Is this your sister? Why is she dressed like that? And why have this kind of ceremony? It's like the birth of the stone monkey. After going through the formalities, finally, free time, Xiao Huan ran up to me. Blinking her big eyes, sister, I was wrong before, I was too jealous, let's make up today. Okay, blood is thicker than water, you'll always be my dearest sister. I propped my chin on my hand and looked at her expressionlessly. She seemed a bit awkward. She pulled me up to stand. Sis, don't be like this. I still remember how close we were as kids, always sharing everything good with each other. Let's go, sis. I'll properly apologize to you. Okay, I have a little secret to tell you. She pulled me toward the storage room. On the road, she handed me a cup of juice. Sis, I now know what special supply means. This juice is a new special supply. You should try it. With just one glance, I could smell the subtle difference in the juice. She had drugged it. I smiled and pointed to the large screen ahead, which was showing photos of Xiao Huan from her childhood. Do you remember when that was taken? While Xiao Huan was reminiscing about the past, I poured some of the juice into her glass. Turning my head, I noticed that the juice in my glass had decreased. A sincere smile broke out. Sister, you're going to have a great time tonight. Enjoy it to the fullest. She pulled me into the storage room. The lights were off, but a dark figure could faintly be seen lying on the sofa inside. Xiao Huan's eyes sparkled. Sister, do you feel a bit feverish all over? The atmosphere tonight is indeed quite heated. I nodded. Yes. I'm so excited that I feel feverish. As she spoke, Xiao Huan began to slur her words. She swayed a couple of times and held her head. Sister, I'm really happy. From now on, I'm so sleepy. If you're sleepy, just sleep. There's a sofa right here. She yawned and walked over drowsily. I slipped out the door and thoughtfully closed it for them, left a gap. I had long suspected that Xiao Huan was planning something big for the homecoming banquet, but I didn't expect it to be so vicious and low. This can be considered her reaping what she sowed. 8. Just as I entered the hall, a friend hurried over to me. Xia, someone is causing trouble at the main entrance. They say they're Xiao Huan's adoptive parents. Zhao's parents knelt on the ground wailing with their son, saying that the parents had snatched away the daughter they had raised for 10 years. Mrs. Zhao pounded her chest, looking as if she was about to faint. The Zhao's son desperately kowtowed toward the softer parts of the grass, sobbing and crying, "Give me back my sister, boo-hoo, give me back my sister." My gaze fell on the old man behind, and I almost burst out laughing. He was wearing a suit with a groom's flower pinned to his right chest, still holding a bouquet of flowers. I'm Xiao Huan's boyfriend, and I'm here today to propose to her. A man in his 60s bowed to my parents and called them Mom and Dad. Mom, Dad, Xiao Huan and I have been together for 2 years. We're truly in love. My parents' faces turned pale, waving their hands to drive this group of people away. Although the old man was old, he was still very agile. He dashed into the house and started shouting, Xiao Huan, your brother is here to marry you. Didn't you say you don't care about the brother's age, only whether he's energetic or not? For a moment, all the guests were dumbfounded. I seized the opportunity to turn off the music that was playing. the hall fell silent. With only faint panting sounds seemingly coming from the storage room, I covered my mouth and pointed toward the storage room. What was that sound? The old man heard it too, his face darkening as if it could drip with gloom. He rushed toward the direction I was pointing. He kicked the door open and saw Xiao Huan tangled up with a homeless man on the sofa. The high-end custom gown was still hanging on her. I gritted my teeth. Xiao Huan had actually brought in a homeless man. How utterly vicious. I immediately covered my mouth and screamed loudly. "Ah, little sister, what are you doing? How could you do such a thing with shady people at home? Are you trying to anger mom and dad?" Xiao Huan jolted awake instantly. He let out a loud cry and clutched his chest. "How did I end up here? Why me? Ah, get away from me, you tramp, don't touch me, security, security, help." My parents rushed over, trembling with anger. She looked around and glared at me fiercely. "Joshua, why are you standing here perfectly fine? It should have been you." I stared at her with a heavy gaze. "Where else should I be? Could it be that this homeless person was prepared by you for me?" Everyone present was sharp-witted and instantly understood the meaning behind Xiao Huan's words. My father couldn't bear the shame, so he cleared the house first. He slapped her to the ground with one blow. "Ungrateful daughter, how could I have a daughter like you?" Xiao Huan threw herself into my mother's arms, sobbing, "Mom, I really didn't, I shouldn't be here." My mother, with red-rimmed eyes, pushed her away forcefully. "Get out, how dare you try to harm your sister? Have you no shame?" Xiao Huan froze, then screamed hysterically, "Mom, you hit me, how could you hit me?" She smiled with sorrow. "Do you know what kind of life I've lived these past 10 years? You think I'm an embarrassment, that I'm not presentable? Do you think I didn't know? If I hadn't been lost back then, wouldn't I have been a princess just like Xiao Xia?" Dad stood frozen in place. My mother wiped away her tears and sobbed. The Zhao couple crawled over and grabbed hold of my father's pants. "We raised her for 10 years. Won't you pay for the 10 years of upbringing?" Xiao Huan kicked the Zhao couple to the ground. "Get out. How have you treated me these past 10 years? How dare you ask for money? Get out of here." The old man seized the opportunity to grab Xiao Huan. "Huaner, you wouldn't deny your brother, would you? I'll let the homeless incident slide, but you must marry me." The hall was in chaos. In an unnoticed corner, a man wearing a hat quietly approached the parents. He whispered a few words. Then he walked over to the sound system and turned on his phone. "Xiao Huan, just give me 1 million, and I won't reveal what happened back then." 1 million? Are you even worthy? How dare you bring up the past? Do you believe I can have someone take you out? The man sneered. "Aren't you afraid your parents will find out that it was you who asked me to take you away back then? Get out. You promised to send me to a wealthy family. But where did you actually take me? How dare you threaten me? You have no shame." The noisy group instantly fell silent. My mother staggered a few times and nearly fell. "Xiao Huan, what does this mean?" 9. The man with the hat is the bald one, the human trafficker who took Xiao Huan away back then. Xiao Huan panicked, flustered, and at a loss for words. "Mom, this is fake. It's fake. This man is framing me." I held on to my mother and scolded Xiao Huan angrily. "Xiao Huan, do you know how many times Mom and Dad have cried over the past 10 years? You actually begged someone to take you away yourself. Back then, you saw the family had no money and wanted to become a rich girl, and now that you have money, you're back. Have you no shame?" Xiao Huan screamed while pulling at her hair. No, I didn't." "Xiao Xia, it was you, wasn't it? You're slandering me, you despicable woman, conspiring with that vile man to frame me." "Mom, it was Xiao Xia who set me up. She charged at me like a madwoman. She was kicked to the ground by a bodyguard." My father looked at her coldly. "Since you hate this family so much, then get out. Go away with your adoptive parents." The bald man still wanted money, but what awaited him was the police. "I called the police a long time ago. There's no way we're letting a human trafficker like this get away. The Zhao family bought Xiao Huan, and they won't get away with it either." Xiao Huan still refused to give up. Kneeling on the ground and begging her parents for forgiveness, her parents had long been utterly disappointed in her. Guilt, self-blame, and regret for 10 years, only to find it was all a joke. The old man held the nearly fainting Xiao Huan. "Now only I want you. Before, you were a wealthy heiress, and I could marry you. now you are nothing, just like you were before." Xiao Huan went mad, kicking and hitting him. My dad got so annoyed that he directly had the bodyguards throw both of them out. 10. My parents were depressed for a few days. Xiao Huan still wouldn't give up and came to cause trouble several more times. I immediately bought plane tickets and took my parents abroad for a vacation to relax. My mom cries and holds on to me every day. Why? She was so young back then. How could she have the heart to leave her parents? Even though we were a bit poor at the time, we still tried our best to give you the best we could. How could she be like this? I patted my mom's shoulder and comforted her softly. Some people are born without a heart. She never loved her family, only money. We traveled abroad for over half a year before returning. Baldy and his accomplices were caught. Buying and selling are both crimes, and Zhao's parents were also imprisoned. There hasn't been much news about Xiao Huan. 2 years later, I went on a business trip to City B, and a crazy woman rushed out. Her eyes were bloodshot, like a wild beast. Xiao Xia. You should have stopped me. Why didn't you keep me from getting on that car this time? Xiao Xia, you've ruined my life. If only you had stopped me, none of this would have happened. I was stunned for a moment, then snapped back to reality. Xiao Huan had remembered her past life. I curled the corner of my mouth, but there was no trace of a smile in my eyes. Stop you, only to let you kill me again. Her eyes widened as she murmured. You've been reborn, Josh. You've been reborn too, haven't you? You bitch, you bitch. She rushed towards me with a knife. I kicked her against the wall, and then I called to have her sent to a mental hospital. The caregivers here are really going to hit people. Enjoy the rest of your life in there. The end. That's all for the first story. Don't go away. The next one is even more exciting. A new graduate who had been with the company for 3 months suddenly asked me, Sister Qingyue, is the company withholding your salary? Why do you ask that? I just saw the pay stub. I'm making 20K, and you're only making 18K. This must be a mistake, right? She looked so innocent, completely unaware that she had just killed someone. From that day on, I started contacting all the senior employees in the department. A month later, when 23 people submitted their resignation letters at the same time, the boss finally realized who the ones truly holding up the company were. 01, Jingjia. Your salary should be around 25,000, right? I can barely get by in Xinqing with 20,000. My hand holding the bubble tea straw suddenly froze. The cold pearls hit the side of the cup, making a faint sound. Across from me, the new graduate Sun Mengmeng was blinking her big eyes, looking at me with an innocent expression. 20,000. My monthly salary is 18,000. I've worked diligently for 3 years at this top-tier internet company, and it's still 18,000. You, how much did you just say? I tried to keep my voice steady. 20,000, Sun Mengmeng said, nodding matter-of-factly as she bit her straw. The HR lady said that for overseas master's degree holders like us, this is the standard starting market rate. She sighed, with a hint of Versailles in her tone. Alas, but the cost of living in Xinqing is just too high. My rent alone takes up 8,000 a month. I silently put down the milk tea in my hand, suddenly feeling a bit nauseous. 3 years ago, I graduated with a bachelor's degree from a top university in the country and fought my way through numerous challenges to get into this company. Starting salary is 12,000. I am the first to arrive at the company every day and the last to leave. I am the one who puts out fires in projects and mentors newcomers. My direct supervisor, Director Zhang, praises me for being diligent and hardworking, calling me the backbone of the department. When colleagues encounter unsolvable problems, their first reaction is also, find Lin Jingyue. 3 years of hard work and dedication, and my salary has increased by 6,000. Yet sitting across from me is Sun Mengmeng, who just joined the company a week ago and hasn't even fully figured out the company system. Her starting salary is already 2,000 higher than mine. Jingjia. Why did you stop drinking? Sun Mengmeng put down her milk tea and asked with concern, is this bubble tea not good? Next time, let's try a different trendy shop. I shook my head and forced a smile. It's nothing, I just suddenly remembered I have an important meeting to coordinate this afternoon. Jingjia, you're just too hardworking, Sun Mengmeng said dismissively, waving her hand. Work, it's good enough. With our educational background, where can't we find a job? There's no need to push ourselves so hard. Educational background. I remembered the one-year UK master's degree on Sun Mingming's resume, with almost zero professional skills. Yesterday, I asked her to help organize a user research report, and she just searched for an article on Baidu, changed the title, and sent it to me, and I, a graduate from a top-tier domestic university, with 3 years of hands-on product experience, hold nearly half of the department's core user data and channel resources in my hands. 18,000. By the way, Sister Jing, Sun Mengmeng suddenly leaned in closer, lowering her voice. I heard the company is doing a general salary adjustment next month. With your extensive experience, you should be able to get a raise to 30,000, right? I almost choked on the pearl in my mouth that I hadn't swallowed yet. Last year's salary adjustment gave me a raise of 1,000. The year before, it was 2,000. The reason was always, Shaolin, you're still young, you need to focus on the future, the company won't let down those who work hard. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Sun Mengmeng continued on her own. Actually, I don't think 30,000 is that much. I have a classmate who also graduated this year and went to another big company. Their starting salary is already 28,000. I took a deep breath and stood up. Mengmeng, let's head back to the office. I haven't prepared the materials for this afternoon's meeting yet, but the cake I ordered hasn't arrived yet. She looked reluctant. Take it to go. I took out my phone and scanned the code to pay. I didn't tell her that this afternoon tea cost almost 2 days' worth of my food expenses. 02. Back at the company, I went straight to the office of HR Director, Sister Chin. Sister Chin was leisurely sipping her hand-brewed coffee, seeing me come in. She put down her cup and gave a professional smile. Jingyue, what brings you here? I got straight to the point. Sister Chin, I'd like to confirm my salary details, and I also want to know about the salary standards for new graduates. A slight pause flickered across Sister Chen's smile, but it quickly returned to normal. She took a document out of the drawer and handed it to me. Jingyue, your salary is in line with the company's standards and matches your current position. As for the new employees, she paused, her tone turning earnest and thoughtful. The current market situation is such that the starting salaries for outstanding graduates are indeed relatively high. This is an inevitable outcome of talent competition. As experienced employees, we need to take a long-term perspective and not just focus on the immediate numbers. The company provides everyone with an excellent development platform and comprehensive benefits. These intangible values are also very important. I opened that document, which clearly stated, Sun Mengmeng, Product Specialist, monthly salary 20,000 yuan. Another new graduate in the same department, Li Hao, has a monthly salary of 19,500 yuan, and next to my name, that glaring 18,000 yuan felt like a needle, stinging my eyes. Even the intern who just got regularized in the neighboring team is said to have 18,500 yuan. I closed the file and looked up at Sister Chin. Jia, I understand. My voice was calm, betraying no emotion. Jia seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, her face once again showing that familiar, slightly condescending smile. Jingyue, I knew you were a sensible child. Young man, don't be too fixated on short-term gains and losses. The company values your potential and dedication. Work hard, the future is promising. I nodded and turned to leave her office. Dedication, a promising future. I don't want to keep eating these empty promises that have been drawn for 3 years. Back at my workstation, I turned on the computer. I didn't tackle the mountain of piled-up work. Instead, I opened an encrypted document titled, Record of Workplace PUA and Evidence Library of Salary Inversion. Starting today, I will seek justice for myself and for those dedicated, long-serving employees who have been silently contributing. I began to document everything that happened today in detail. Sun Mingming's words, Sister Chen's explanation, and that glaring salary document. Then, I opened the company's internal contact list. I found several old colleagues who, like me, have worked diligently at this company for many years but are receiving disproportionately low salaries. I sent each of them an anonymous message. Do you also feel that your efforts and rewards are not proportional? After sending the message, I closed the dialog box and began organizing my resume. At the same time, I began discreetly imparting all the knowledge and experience I had about product operations to Sun Mengmeng, holding nothing back. since she is an overseas returnee with a master's degree and a talent worth $20,000 a month in the market. I will then help her grow as quickly as possible so she can take on responsibilities independently. Let's see if that 20,000 yuan monthly salary is truly worth it. 03. Sister Chen's talk about dedication did not dispel my doubts. Instead, it felt like a thorn that went even deeper. I began to pay attention to Sun Mengmeng, this fresh graduate, who carries the halo of a master's degree from overseas and earns a higher salary than I do. Her work performance does not seem to match her salary and self-confidence. That morning, the department held its weekly meeting to discuss the new product promotion plan for the next quarter. As the project lead, I was presenting my initial ideas. This was a plan I had worked on for 3 consecutive nights, incorporating extensive user data and market research. I had just reached the core strategy section. Sun Mengmeng suddenly raised her hand and interrupted me. Jing Jia, with all due respect, isn't this plan of yours a bit too conservative? All eyes in the meeting room instantly turned to her, then shifted to me. I paused my explanation and looked at her. Sun Mengmeng adjusted her thin-framed glasses, her expression serious. When I was studying in the UK, I participated in a similar promotional project. We used the latest, user-efficient growth model at the time, and the results were excellent. She paused, her tone carrying a hint of barely noticeable superiority. This traditional ARR funnel model of yours seems to no longer fit well with the current market environment. I hadn't even spoken yet. Director Zhang, the direct supervisor, had a gleam in his eyes. He turned to Sun Mengmeng, his tone clearly showing interest. Oh, do you have any specific ideas? Xiao Sun, feel free to share them. Young people should dare to think and speak boldly. He even directly signaled to me. Lin Jingyue, hold on for a moment, let Xiao Sun speak. I silently closed my notebook, watching Sun Mengmeng walk confidently to the projector and plug in her USB drive. Her PowerPoint was flashy, filled with various English abbreviations and high-sounding theoretical terms. It's about a viral marketing case of a social app from abroad. It sounds quite impressive, but anyone with a bit of industry knowledge can see that the background of that case is completely different from our product features and the domestic market environment. Moreover, many of the data she cited in her PPT are from 3 or 4 years ago. Brilliant, very insightful. As soon as Sun Mengmeng finished speaking, Director Zhang was the first to applaud. He looked at Sun Mengmeng with a beaming face, as if he had discovered some rare treasure. This is what international vision looks like. This is the innovative thinking we need. He turned to me, his tone carrying a hint of authority that brooked no argument. Lin Jingyue, adjust this promotion plan according to Xiao Sun's approach. You need to learn more from the younger generation and not remain stuck in your ways. Understand? I looked at Director Zhang's excited face, feeling a chill in my heart. He doesn't care at all whether the plan is feasible. He only cares about Sun Mengmeng's overseas returnee master's degree label and those seemingly high-end English terms. These can become his capital for claiming credit when reporting to his superiors. 04. After the meeting, Sun Mengmeng deliberately came to my workstation. She wore a well-intentioned smile on her face. Jing, don't take it to heart. I just feel that since I've learned new things abroad, I should share them. Your experience is also valuable, but sometimes it's necessary to update the knowledge base. She took a USB drive out of her bag and handed it to me. Here are some of the latest user growth cases from abroad that I've compiled, along with a few of my mentor's papers. You can use them for reference. That condescending attitude, as if I were the rookie in need of a leg up in the workplace. I smiled and took the USB drive. Great, thank you, Mengmeng. I'll definitely study it carefully. Back at my desk, I plugged the USB drive into the computer, opened the valuable materials she shared, quickly skimmed through them. Just as expected, most of the content was pieced together from some publicly available industry reports and blog posts from a few years ago. There were even a few so-called mentor papers, from which she had cleverly erased the authors' names. I saved all these web page links and screenshots of the original reports one by one. The file names were clearly annotated, verification of the original source materials for Sun Mengmeng's original work. Then, I opened her user-efficient growth proposal. Start seriously following her line of thought to optimize and refine every illogical point. I supplemented with even more absurdity. Every error in data citation, I expanded to be even more outrageous. A perfect plan that would cause the project's reputation to collapse on its very first day of launch was gradually taking shape in my hands. My phone vibrated once. It's a message from headhunter Sister Wu Jingyue, of the companies I mentioned to you last time. Two are very interested after seeing your resume. One is a unicorn in the online education sector. They urgently need an experienced product lead and are offering a salary of $30K, plus stock options. The other is a well-established e-commerce platform. They want to recruit you as a senior manager in user growth, with a starting salary of $32K. I look at the numbers on the screen and take a deep breath. Reply, Sister Wu, could you please arrange an interview time? I'd like to talk with them as soon as possible. Sister Wu replies quickly, no problem, you're very efficient. It seems you've made up your mind. I reply with 2 words. Of course, some birds are not meant to be caged. When the cage no longer offers shelter but becomes a constraint, flight is the only choice. 05. Sun Mingming's user-efficient growth plan, with strong support from Director Zhang, became a key project for the department. I was entrusted with an important task to assist Sun Mengmeng in refining and implementing this plan every day. I watch Sun Mengmeng take the absurd plan I optimized and dominate discussions in various meetings. Meanwhile, Director Zhang nods frequently on the side, full of praise, saying, innovative and bold. I can only sneer inwardly, waiting to see how this farce will end. Days passed one after another, and soon it was the end of the year. The company's annual year-end bonus evaluation and distribution notice also arrived as scheduled. The email was sent to all employees. I opened the year-end bonus distribution guidelines in the attachment and immediately scanned through the incentive section, Rising Star Award, to encourage rapid growth among newly hired employees. Those who have been with the company for less than a year and have demonstrated outstanding performance will receive an additional 1 to 2 months' salary as a bonus. Annual Promising Newcomer Award, for newcomers who have made significant contributions to key annual projects. An additional 2 to 3 months' salary will be awarded, along with priority consideration for promotion nominations. I read it carefully 3 times. None of it is about the veteran employees, or rather, the year-end bonus for veteran employees is that unshakable, standard end-month salary, where the value of N still depends on the minuscule performance raise you received the previous year. My colleague, Brotherly, who has been with the company for almost 6 years as a senior technician. After reading the email, he slammed his laptop shut with a thud, his face ashen. Damn it, that's just too much, he muttered under his breath. Sun Mengmeng leaned over from her workstation, her face beaming with excitement. Brotherly, Sister Jing, have you seen the year-end bonus notice? I think I might get that Rising Star Award. Maybe I can even aim for the Promising Newcomer Award. She counted on her fingers. A base salary of 20,000. And if I can get 3 months bonus, that's 60,000, that's amazing. Brotherly took a deep breath and forced a smile that looked worse than crying. Really, congratulations. Then, Sun Mengmeng didn't notice the strange atmosphere at all and was still happily planning how to use her year-end bonus. Looking at her innocent and radiant face, I suddenly felt a pang of sadness, not for her, but for us veteran employees who were treated as background props. In the evening, the department had a gathering. Euphemistically called a prelude to the annual party. Director Zhang held a wine glass, beaming with joy. Although there's still room for improvement in our department's performance this year, overall, it's been quite good. This is all thanks to the hard work of every colleague. In particular, he shifted his tone, his gaze turning towards Sun Mengmeng and several other new employees. Our young blood has injected new vitality and innovative thinking into the department. The future of the company lies in the hands of you young people, who are full of drive and ideas. He raised his glass and declared loudly, come, let's toast to the younger generation. Sun Mengmeng and others immediately stood up, feeling both flattered and overwhelmed, and raised their glasses to toast Director Zhang. We old-timers could only awkwardly hold up our glasses, forcing smiles. Director Zhang then turned to us, his tone becoming earnest and sincere. Of course, the senior employees must continue to shine and contribute, doing a good job of mentoring and supporting the newcomers. You should pass on your experience to newcomers without holding anything back. paving the way and building bridges for them, willingly acting as a stepping stone. Brotherly gently nudged me with his foot under the table. I picked up the orange juice in front of me and took a small sip. Willingly acting as a stepping stone sounds so noble. They climb up by stepping on us, yet still complain that we're not good enough to serve as a foothold. 06. After the dinner, a few senior employees stayed behind without prior agreement. Everyone found a corner, and Brotherly lit a cigarette. Life is just unbearable these days. He took a deep drag. The intern I mentored just got regularized last month and was offered a salary of $25,000 right away. And me, after 6 years of hard work, I'm only making $23,000 now. Same here. Sister Wong from another team couldn't help but complain. The client resources I handle account for half of our team's performance, and what happens? The new hires I'm training have base salaries almost as high as mine, and their year-end bonuses are even bigger, more than just salary inversion, said a tech lead. Xiaoma, did you all notice the email HR sent out in the group today? We all shook our heads. Xiaoma took out his phone and opened an email. Take a look at this. Notice on standardizing employee attendance and leave management. It is clearly stipulated that personal leave taken by senior employees will directly affect their monthly performance evaluations and year-end appraisals. It is recommended that everyone prioritize work and avoid taking leave unless absolutely necessary. As for new employees, Xiaoma sneered, they have an onboarding adaptation period and a newcomer protection period, so taking leave hardly affects them. The reason given is that they need time to adjust and integrate into the team. The meeting room fell into a dead silence. A stifling anger hung in the air. We can't go on like this, I said, breaking the silence. We cannot just sit and wait for death. I took out my phone and, in front of everyone, created a WeChat group. The group name was simple, Veteran Employees Mutual Aid Alliance. I added everyone present to the group. Everyone should bring in the trusted senior colleagues from their respective departments as well. The first thing we need to do is to figure out exactly how many of the company's core resources are in the hands of us old-timers. Secondly, we should share information and see if there are better opportunities outside. My proposal was immediately met with a positive response from everyone, within half an hour. The group membership of the Veteran Employees Mutual Aid Alliance had exceeded 50 people. Everyone began anonymously sharing the customer information, core technical data, and key channel contacts they had access to, out of sight, out of mind. But what she saw shocked her. A preliminary tally revealed that over 70% of the company's core business lifelines and customer relationships were firmly in the hands of us veteran employees, who had been subjected to salary inversion and asked to willingly serve as stepping stones. Watching the constantly updating messages in the group, a bold plan began to form in my mind. I have started consciously organizing all the client information I've accumulated over the past 3 years, project experiences, and those highly valuable data analysis reports that were overlooked by upper management. These will be my bargaining chips in negotiations and the confidence I need to leave. 07. The User-Efficient Growth project, led by Sun Mengmeng, is rapidly advancing with Director Zhang giving it the green light all the way. Every day, she is full of energy, directing the new members of the project team to work busily. Occasionally, she would come to my workstation and, humbly, ask for advice on some minor details. In reality, she was trying to extract some core data and user profiles from me to fill the gaps in her hollow proposal. I patiently answered each of her questions and selflessly shared some key information. Of course, all of this information was carefully filtered by me, enough to make her run further and further down the wrong path. The day before the project launch, Sun Mengmeng organized an internal demonstration. She stood in front of the projector, full of confidence and enthusiasm, speaking with great animation. She boasted extravagantly about that flawed and full of holes plan. Through our innovative fission model, we expect user growth to reach 200% within the first week of launch. Monthly active users will hit a historic high. Director Zhang sat below, nodding repeatedly with a satisfied smile on his face. Several newcomers were also applauding and cheering on the side, as if they had already seen the dawn of the project's success. I sat in the corner, quietly watching this one-man show. The project was launched on schedule. On the first day, everything was calm. The backend data showed that there were very few new users. Sun Mengmeng explained, the new model needs an adaptation period. There's a delay in user perception. The data will definitely explode tomorrow. Director Zhang expressed understanding. Let's give the market some time. The next day, the backend data remained dismal. Not only were there no new additions, but even the activity of existing users began to show a noticeable decline. Sun Mengmeng's expression grew somewhat unpleasant. She started frequently approaching the technical department, asking whether there was a server issue or if the data statistics were delayed. The tech department was so annoyed by her that they directly handed her a report stating the server was running normally. On the third day, disaster finally struck. Just after 9 a.m., the customer service department's phone lines were flooded with calls. A large number of users complained that after the app update, they encountered serious issues such as frequent crashes, malfunctioning features, and even an inability to log in. What's even more critical is that our most important strategic client, Feichi Group, had their enterprise customized app's backend data completely disrupted due to this fission update, severely impacting their normal operations. The CEO of Feichi Group directly called our company's top executive on his personal phone, speaking with unprecedented anger. He claimed that if the issue wasn't resolved and the data restored within the day, they would immediately terminate all cooperation and pursue legal action against us. That's a contract worth tens of millions a year. The news reached our department, and everyone panicked. Director Zhang's face instantly turned pale, with cold sweat streaming down his forehead. He rushed to Sun Mengmeng's workstation, his voice trembling. Sun Mengmeng, what on earth is going on? Didn't you say your plan was foolproof? Sun Mengmeng was also terrified, at a loss, with tears welling up in her eyes. I don't know either. It shouldn't be like this in theory. Theory? You're talking about theory with me now. Director Zhang was so angry he almost jumped up. Do you know how important Feichi Group is to us? If this deal falls through, our entire department is finished. The entire office was in chaos. The technical department staff were urgently called in to troubleshoot the issue. Sun Mengmeng was surrounded by several executives, repeatedly explaining her fission model, but the more she explained, the more confusing it became, full of loopholes. The advanced theories she had copied from the internet earlier were utterly defenseless in the face of a real crisis. At that moment, Sun Mengmeng suddenly rushed up to me as if she had grabbed a lifeline. She grabbed my arm, crying with tears streaming down her face like pear blossoms in the rain. Jingjia, please save me. I know you must have a way. This project was something you guided me through. You can't just stand by and watch me suffer. She actually had the nerve to say that I was the one who led her into doing it. I looked at her coldly without saying a word. 08. Director Zhang also walked over, his tone carrying a hint of pleading, yet also a touch of an unrefusable command. Lin Jingyue, now is not the time to dwell on personal grudges. You're a senior employee with extensive experience. You must find a way to clean up this project mess. At Feichi Group, General Manager Li specifically requested you to go and explain. If you can't handle it, you'll bear the consequences. This is blatant pressure and a threat. I looked at their faces, each one anxious and hypocritical. The long-suppressed anger in my heart finally found an outlet. I slowly stood up, my voice calm yet carrying a trace of undeniable determination. All right, I can go. Sun Mengmeng and Director Zhang's eyes lit up simultaneously. I paused for a moment and continued, but I have 3 conditions. First, from now on, I will take full responsibility for this project, and no one is allowed to interfere. Second, regarding Feichi Group, I must lead the communication. Sun Mengmeng, as the original creator of the proposal, needs to accompany me throughout the process and explain in detail her design ideas to the client. Third, I said, looking directly at Director Zhang, enunciating each word clearly, if this crisis is successfully resolved, I don't want just verbal praise. I want a tangible adjustment in my position and salary. What I want is compensation that reflects my true value. The conference room was completely silent. Sun Mengmeng opened her mouth to say something but was silenced by my icy glare. Director Zhang's expression shifted repeatedly, and finally, he gritted his teeth. Fine, I agree. I took a USB drive out of the drawer and plugged it into the computer. Inside was Plan B, which I had prepared long ago. a robust and effective contingency and optimization plan based on existing user data and product logic. This plan had already been completed while I was assisting Sun Mengmeng with her viral growth strategy. I know, this day would come sooner or later. Now it's my turn to step up. 09. I took Plan B and went to Feiqi Group with Sun Mengmeng, who had a long face. In the conference room, the atmosphere was so tense it felt like it was about to freeze. Mr. Li and several senior executives of Feiqi Group had grim expressions on their faces. Sun Mengmeng stood aside, trembling and unable to utter a word. I opened my computer and began explaining my emergency plan and subsequent optimization strategy, from the steps of data recovery to strategies for user reassurance, and finally to the rollback and adjustment of product features. At every step, I explained everything clearly and thoroughly, with sound reasoning and evidence. This is the fastest and most effective remedial measure, made possible only after 3 years of in-depth understanding of their business. Mr. Li's expression gradually softened. I also provided professional answers to each of the sharp questions he raised. At the end of the meeting, General Manager Li stood up and proactively extended his hand to me. Manager Lin, you're the reliable one after all. If I had known it would turn out like this, I should have put you in full charge from the start. He glanced meaningfully at Sun Mengmeng, who looked like she was about to burst into tears. I hope the follow-up execution will go as smoothly as your presentation today. I nodded with a smile. Don't worry, Mr. Li, I'll personally follow up on this. The crisis was temporarily averted. Back at the company, Director Zhang immediately called me into his office, his face plastered with a hypocritical smile. Jingyue, you've really done a great job this time. The company will definitely reward you well. I didn't respond to his remark and spoke directly. Director Zhang, do you remember the 3 conditions I proposed earlier? Director Zhang's smile stiffened slightly. I remember. Regarding the position and salary adjustment, I've already discussed it with HR Manager Qin. They will get back to you as soon as possible. Pot Yen by Gu Rang by Jiong Tua Jia Li Yu Shi Chui Long Hu. He was being evasive, trying to drag the matter out. I waited for 3 days. HR Sister Chen finally called me into her office. Also present was Director Zhang. Sister Chen first acknowledged my outstanding contribution in handling this crisis, then she changed the subject. Jingyue, regarding your salary adjustment, after careful consideration by the company's senior management, it has been decided to give you a raise of 2,000 yuan. 2,000. I almost laughed in anger. I salvaged a contract worth tens of millions, averting a major credibility crisis for the company, and all it's worth is $2,000. As for the position, Sister Chen continued, we'll keep things as they are for now. However, the company will list you as a key talent for development and prioritize you for promotion opportunities. Another empty promise. Director Zhang also chimed in. Jingyue, this is already an exception made by the company. You should know that the company's compensation system is strictly designed and cannot be easily disrupted because of one project. Besides, the success of this project also owes something to Sun Mengmeng's preliminary exploration, although her direction was wrong. Her spirit is commendable. He's still making excuses for Sun Mengmeng. I watched the disgusting faces of the two of them singing in harmony. I completely understand now. In this company, the value of senior employees is always underestimated. The so-called spirit of dedication is nothing but an excuse to exploit us, and those newcomers who are good at taking shortcuts and have impressive resumes are the treasures in their eyes. Just then, Sun Mengmeng knocked on the door and entered. 10. She wore a triumphant smile on her face and held a document in her hand. Director Zhang, Sister Chen, I've filled out my Newcomer Progress Award nomination form. Could you both please sign it? Newcomer Progress Award, because she messed up the project, and I had to clean up the mess, so she gets the award. What kind of absurd logic is this? Sun Mengmeng even gave me a provocative look, speaking in an innocent tone. Sister Jingyue, thank you for helping me solve the project's issues. However, the success of this project also relies on my initial, innovative ideas. She emphasized the words, innovative ideas, particularly heavily. I couldn't hold back any longer. I took out the resignation letter I had prepared long ago from my bag and slammed it directly on Sister Chen's desk. This blessing is more than I can handle. You two leaders can slowly cultivate your promising newcomer. I quit. Both Sister Chen and Director Zhang were stunned. They probably didn't expect that I, who had always been sensible and restrained, would suddenly explode. I turned and walked away. Just as I reached the door, my phone vibrated. It was a group message from the Veteran Employees Mutual Support Alliance. Brotherly, folks, I just threw my resignation letter right in old Baldy Zhang's face. Screw this, I'm done. Sister Wang, I brought it up too. The HR's face turned green. Xiao Ma, +1. If this place doesn't want me, there are plenty of other places that will. One after another, resignation messages flooded the group chat. I counted, including myself. There are already 6 people. They are all the core backbones of their respective departments, the client resources and core technologies. These individuals hold account for at least 80% of the department's business. Director Zhang rushed out, his face ashen. Lin Jingyue, did you all plan this together? Are you trying to stage a collective rebellion? I turned back, looking at his flustered and furious expression, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Director Zhang, the market situation has changed. We're just seeking development that better aligns with our own value. Haven't you always emphasized the importance of following market principles? HR Sister Chen also rushed over, trying to persuade us to stay. Jingyue, let's talk this out properly. Salary and benefits are all negotiable. I calmly interrupted her. No need, Sister Chen. I've already found a better platform. The terms they're offering are something your company could never match. I raised my phone, showing the confirmation message that headhunter Sister Wu had just sent. The new company offer includes a monthly salary of 35,000 plus project stock options. This is nearly double my current salary. This is the value I truly deserve. 11. I will be joining the new company very quickly. That online education unicorn company. The CEO personally interviewed me. He was very impressed with my experience in user growth and product operations. The salary package offered also fully reflected their high regard for me. A monthly salary of 35,000 plus substantial project stock options. My colleagues Brother Li and Sister Wang, who switched jobs with me, also found new and more suitable positions in their respective areas of expertise. Everyone is thriving in the new environment. However, our former employer is not having such an easy time. Key senior employees have left en masse, taking with them most of the critical clients and project experience. The remaining newcomers, including the highly anticipated Sun Mengmeng, simply cannot hold their own. Without my guidance and backup, Sun Mengmeng soon made frequent mistakes at work. Several small projects she was responsible for were either delayed or failed to meet data standards, leading to multiple complaints from clients. Director Zhang was overwhelmed. Roaring in the office every day, it said that the company's top management was furious, singling out Director Zhang for criticism over poor management, which led to talent loss and a significant decline in performance. In just 3 months, the previous company's quarterly financial report was released, showing a 50% plunge in profits. The stock price also plummeted. That afternoon, I was in a meeting with the team at my new company, discussing an upcoming product launch. My phone vibrated. It was a WeChat message from headhunter Sister Wu. Jingyue, there's something I want to tell you. You might be interested. I replied with a question mark. Sister Wu quickly sent a voice message. I clicked on it, and it was her voice with a hint of teasing. Guess who reached out to me? Director Zhang from your former company, and that HR manager, Sister Chen. They want to use me to poach you back. They started by offering an annual salary of 500,000 with the position of product director. They also said it was all a misunderstanding before and hope you can let bygones be bygones and come back to turn things around. After hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh. 500,000, product director, what were you doing earlier? I replied to Sister Wu, please tell them that I am now one of the partners at Star Education, my new company's name, and an annual salary of $1 million is just the starting point. I really have no interest in the conditions they're offering. Sister Wu replied with a string of ha 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 emojis. So bold, I'll definitely pass it on exactly as you said. Not long after, Sun Mengmeng also sent me a friend request on WeChat. I tapped accept. She sent a long voice message, sobbing, Jingjia. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Please, for the sake of our past relationship, help me. The company is in a mess now. Director Zhang scolds me every day. saying it's all my fault. I can't even get through the probation period now. I might be fired. Jing, I know you're doing well now. Could you find a position for me at your new company? I can do anything, even serve tea and water. Listening to her hypocritical sobbing, I could only feel the irony. I replied to her, sorry. Our company has strict hiring procedures and standards. Then, immediately block. Some mistakes, once made, leave no chance for redemption. 12. At the end of the year, the industry held a grand awards ceremony. On behalf of Star Education, I went on stage to accept the annual Best Innovative Product Award. Standing on the podium, the spotlight shone on me, a bit dazzling. I looked down and saw Director Zhang and Sister Chen sitting in the corner of the audience. They had been invited as supporting guests. Their faces were ashen, and they looked at me with complex expressions, once seen as the old employee, or stepping stone, in their eyes. He now stands at a height they can only look up to. At the post-ceremony reception, Director Zhang, holding a wine glass, hesitated for a long time before mustering the courage to walk over. He forced a smile that looked even more pitiful than a cry. Lin, President Lin, congratulations, congratulations. He no longer dared to call me Jingyue. I nodded faintly without saying a word. Sister Chen also came over, speaking in a humble tone. Mr. Lin, our company is currently looking to hire an experienced HR director. I was wondering if you might have any suitable candidates to recommend. Is she trying to get me to help her find a job? I looked at her and suddenly smiled. Ms. Chen, with your extensive experience and sharp eye as a senior HR director, how could they possibly take a fancy to a small company like ours that has just started to develop? Here, we don't talk about dedication, we only look at ability and value. Sister Chen's face instantly turned as red as a pig's liver. Director Zhang, standing nearby, was even more embarrassed, wishing he could disappear into the ground. I didn't pay them any more attention. I turned around and walked toward the CEO, who was chatting and laughing with several industry leaders. My phone vibrated. It was a WeChat message from my mom. Daughter, I saw you receiving the award on TV. I'm so proud of you. I replied with a smiley face. Mom, once I finish this busy period, I'll take you and Dad on a trip to Europe. Looking at the sparkling night view of Shanghai outside the window, I took a deep breath. This city once left me scarred all over and made me want to escape, but now, in my own way, I have won back everything that belongs to me. Those who look down on veteran employees, those leaders who preach dedication, and those companies that only value connections, will eventually come to understand one truth: true value never depreciates with the passage of time. Those who disregard value will ultimately be abandoned by it. The end. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. See you in the next video.